G'day guys, I'm Jack from Tone Deaf and I'm talking to Tegan and Sara, who all of you hopefully know by now. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, and you've been in Melbourne for a day or two now.
Mm-hmm.
How's it been so far?
Melbourne's been great. I mean, today it's nicer out than it's been. We've been here 2 days and it's been raining, but...
It's a bit temperamental.
It is temperamental here in Melbourne, which is totally fine. It's winter where we're from, so it's actually just nice to have warm weather, even though it's raining.
Yeah.
It's true. In Montreal, they just had a blizzard. There's 3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
They said on the news, they were saying that the blizzard was so unexpected that it was like they estimated it by 1,000%.
Very
They
dramatic.
even do that?
Just like completely shut down the city.
Did they just expect no snow? That's how...
They just didn't really expect anything, and then all of a sudden they didn't just get snow. They had 2 days of blizzard and like 3 feet of snow. I mean, can you imagine 3 feet? I'm basically 4 feet.
Yeah, I can't imagine that much snow.
And in previous kind of times you've described your relationship, just writing relationship, as being once married. I think this is you, Tegan, who described it, and then kind of now divorced. I don't think you agreed with that. It's kind of the connotations that came with that.
There's a negative connotation, but yeah.
But I wanted to know, I guess, like how the songwriting process does go, because you do live in 2 different cities back home in Canada.
I mean, since we were teenagers, since we started writing, even when we lived next door to each other, we have always written separately. And I think our process with each other is more about collaboration anyway. Like, so whether a song is completely finished or partly finished, we send it back and forth and we get feedback and we sing and perform on each other's songs. And we see each other more as producers. And I think the marriage and divorce analogy had much more to do with the emotional attachment to our music. Like, we see our relationship as almost more like a marriage rather than a sister relationship, because we have a business together and because we have been alive for 30 years. Like, our relationship has really taken a lot of different,
it's almost like sibling relationships. Like, you almost like your relationship is about genetics, or like like go home to see mom at Christmas. But it's true, there is something about the like we're living in the present always with each other, and it does almost feel more like what people do when they're raising children. Like like gotta go on tour, gotta take the kids to soccer. You know, like you're sort of like really constantly having to negotiate day-to-day stuff, which I think most siblings, they're like, that when they're talking about Tegan and I's relationship, they're like, I would kill my brother, or I would kill my sister. I could never do the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Now that they're like grown-ups or whatever. So
we've had to like set certain boundaries so that our relationship it rarely becomes about being sisters. So, which is interesting, because a lot of the tension and friction that comes from our business is the projection all the time about us being siblings. It's always like the girls, the sisters, the twins, and we're like, you mean the business partner.